Well, good morning from Otta. This is day 21, and I'm leaving this cute little town. I had a lovely hotel night with a delicious pizza for dinner and also today's lunch, and then a great breakfast. So, even though I don't have luggage transfer today, I'm carrying my pack. It is only 8.9 miles and it's flat. So that's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. It's 8:15 and I feel like I'm way late because I'm used to starting at 6:50 or 7 o'clock, but I got to sleep in a little bit. So I don't know what the scenery is going to be like along the way. I'm going to be walking along the river initially, and we'll just see what we can find. Thanks for coming along. I know many of you aren't hikers, but for those of you on my TikTok channel, you might be. And here's a fun fact about backpacks. You can't do much without taking your backpack off. So make sure when you're buying one that it has good size hip pockets, because you're going to rely on those hip pockets during the day. Mine, on the one side, I've got my snacks. On the other side, I've got my 360 camera, my earbuds, an extra baggie. You know, they hold a lot. So that's something worth looking into, not just the capacity of the pack itself. A lot of people that are hiking will say, oh, I don't want to be hiking next to a road. This road is the E6 and it's the major thoroughfare. So there are a lot of trucks and cars that are using it. But I enjoy it just to see, especially if we're going through a residential area, I like to see how other people live. For instance, the trash can lids are the same colors as our trash can lids. Blue means recycle and brown means bio waste. So I just think that's interesting. And to see especially what they do with their gardens and plants, and it makes me very jealous. They have a lot of annuals that are planted and they're just gorgeous. Right now we're coming into an area that has fewer houses on the tree line. It looks a little rockier. I'll show you the other direction. There's a waterfall and a highway behind me with lots of construction, but just to the right is the Selkirk, the church. So I'm going to stop there and show you the passport stamps that have been accumulating, and we'll have a little rest. Well, it's only been an hour, but who can pass up a picnic table in the shade? So I stopped at the church and got a stamp and signed their guest book. The church wasn't open, but like they do so often, they leave the stamp outside. So let's take a look at how my passport is shaping up. For those of you who haven't seen one, this is what it looks like on the outside. And then the places you visit get stamped and dated. Obviously, a lot of churches and farms. This was one where she was an artist and she made her own little stamp. This was where I forgot to get a stamp, so I will make a copy when I get home. And let's grab this out. So here's where I was last night, and this is the church that we're visiting right now. So you can see it's really shaping up. What happens then when I get to the cathedral at Nidaros. I will show them my passport and I will get a certificate of completion. It, on the Camino, it's called a Compostela, and I know that there's a word for it here as well. I just can't remember what the word is. One other thing I do besides getting a stamp in my passport is, this is the book that I designed. After the Camino, I decided that I would put space on each of my pages for a stamp. And so when I go to a hotel or a church or something, I'll put the stamp in my travel journal as well. And I added pages to this. This is on Amazon, but I find that it's fun to look at my journal and see the stamp along with my text from the part of the trail that I'm documenting as well. It was so impressive to walk around this graveyard. All of the plants, these beautiful plants, are real, not a fake flower in the bunch. So a couple of other miscellaneous things, since we've got shade here and not too much noise. One that I forgot to mention from a number of nights ago, the farm that had it was right across from the Stave Church, and it had the beautiful garden, and Yunka was the name of the host. And I had the run of the hostel since I was the only pilgrim there, and as I was exploring around, I saw she has a snorer's room, which had one bed in it and a closed door, and it kind of looked like a timeout room. I think it was under the eaves, but I thought that's a good idea. I'm a snorer, so fortunately I have never asked for a single room. I expected that I would be staying with other people, and I brought my night guard so I wouldn't be snoring, and it's just worked out that I've had single rooms this whole time. But that was one thing. Yesterday, right before the steepest climb, and I was mustering up all my courage and strength for my legs, I turned a corner, and there was Vim and his camper waiting for his wife Anya, who was behind me. And I thought that was just great. We chatted for a couple minutes, and he said, "You've only got one more big climb to go," so that was nicely encouraging. And then lastly, I've been trying to make arrangements for my luggage transfer for the next few nights, and Pear at the Pilgrim Center has been extremely helpful with that, but my phone has not connected the call quite as well. But today I was able to get through. And yesterday, when I had my bag transferred, you put your money in an envelope, and you put where you're going, and you leave your bag there, and then they pick it up and it arrives when you get to your destination. So at the place I was staying at, the Kirketigan Rooms and Camping, they didn't have any envelopes, they didn't have any tape, they didn't have any staples in the stapler. And so I pulled up a YouTube, how to make an envelope out of a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper. So I made myself an envelope. I put in the money, and instead of tape, I put a California sticker on the envelope to close it. And they did have some strapping tape that I then taped that envelope to my bag. And I signed it, Carol from California. Okay, so when I called this morning, I said I needed a luggage transfer for tomorrow, and I said you had it waiting for me at the hotel here in Otta. Thank you very much. And she said, "Oh, that was you, California." So it's been fun to. It's always Carol from California. People have less than an impressive image of the U.S., but it seems they like California. So it's a nice conversation starter. So that's all the mini news for right now. Need to get back on the road. Crossing over a little bridge now over the river, and look how clear that water is. It also looks very cold. Look at this, a little pilgrim table right by the river. It's 11 o'clock and I've only got 2 miles to go, but I'm going to take advantage of this, take my pack off and just sit down for a minute. Well, that was a lovely rest stop for a few minutes. And someone in the comments yesterday said something about just being able to enjoy the track and the sounds of the birds. And that's definitely what I'm enjoying today. My hope is that when I get home, every time I sit down, I won't think that I've got to have a snack. It seems like that's par for the course here, but I'd better change my habits when I get home. My destination today is the Jorundgard Medieval Center, and I don't know much about it, so when I get there, since I have plenty of time, I will look things up and give you a little rundown about it, but it sounds like it'll be fascinating. It looks like I'm coming up to it here on the left. This river, by the way, has been a spot for fly fishermen. I've passed a number of cars with no people in them, but the fishermen are down by the river. It looks like a great spot. So we shall see what this is like. I think this is where I go. Oh, maybe not. Well, it turns out I came in the back entrance, which was why I couldn't find the reception area. But this is not only a place for pilgrims, but the general public can come and see this medieval village type of thing. So I'm going to flip my phone around and show you my lodging. This is my building, and they're expecting one more pilgrim tonight, but this is the room. All of these beds, I think I'll take one in the corner. All the beds are handmade. I was worried that it might be a little warm in here, but it's not. It's very fresh and cool. And so I'm going to take one of the beds in the corner, and I've ordered dinner for 6 o'clock and breakfast for 7:30. So I'm looking for a rather interesting evening. Thanks for following along, and I will talk with you tomorrow. I give you a little bit more history tomorrow when we're on the road and once I find out about it.